friends, I wanted to just send you a quick update, a little recap of what we did last week on CC Cycle 1 Week 3. For geography, we did Show Me Tell Me, and we had little toys that travel to the different places in the map. For our timeline, we sang our song, we did the different hand motions, which is Hinduism, this is like spirit, Hinduism in India. Phoenicians, it's a boat. Phoenicians and the alphabet, A-B. Olmecs of Mesoamerica, it's a know around your head because they were known for these big head statues. Israelite, Exodus, so we made an I and then Exodus. And the desert wandering, so it's a little D that wanders around. Israelite, conquest, and judges, because judges are balancing, right? Judges. Greek, we make a G on our nose, and then Greek Dark Ages, and then Israel's United Kingdom. So these two come together. For math, it's been kind of a challenge to get through saying all of those multiplication facts, like 7 times 2, that's 14. That's a lot of talking. So this week I went around and had each of the kids pick a different physical challenge they wanted to challenge their other kids to do, and they seem to enjoy that. So like some kids had like planks, and other kids had like plank with one hand, and then another kid said let's just try and stand with hopping on one foot, and so that kept it fun. You might see some of those pictures one of the moms posted on Cluster, so that's what that was about. And then I also tried to break it up so that we did the 5s in between each strand. So we started out with the 5s, and then we did geography, then we did the 6s, and then we did timeline, then we went back and did the 5s, and we did history. So it wasn't just like saying all the facts at once, but it was broken up. So that I think worked very well. We might continue to do that until we finish with the multiplication tables, because it's a lot. For history, we sang the song, Tell Me About the Greek Gods and the Roman Gods. For Latin, we sang the song, and we just practiced getting softer and louder. For science, we asked what are some parts of the animal cell. We made up hand motions, so nucleus, we made an N. Cytoplasm, we made a C. Vacuole was a V that's kind of vacuuming, so B. Mitochondria, so it's the powerhouse of the cell, so we made muscles, mitochondria. Cell membrane, we made an O because it's a membrane that's around the cell, so we did that. And then for Golgi bodies, we wiggled our bodies, Golgi bodies, so that was kind of fun. I also did it with like funny voices. I have these little cards that I have them like pick without them looking, and then it has different voices on it, like speak with a English accent, or talk like a superhero, or my favorite, like pirate, arr, so they enjoy that. I know that they're older, but I still feel like they enjoy some of those funny little kid things. And then for English, we just went over our prepositions: along, amid, among, around, at, atop. And then we did that while I have these little cards that it's like say it while, so they're like action, like say it while marching in place, or say it while patting your head and rubbing your belly. So that was fun. For science, the experiment was blending and figuring out why did God create animals that can blend into their surroundings. So we talked about camouflage. The tutor notes had these great references to the Bible talking about how God takes care of the birds and how he clothes them and he feeds them and they don't need to worry. So we talked about how God made the animals and how he takes care of them, so that was fun. And then we talked about camouflage, like why do people have camouflage, and then funny that 2 of the boys were wearing camo, so we're like, oh, what is that about, and why would people feel the need to make camouflage so they can blend into their surroundings, why it would be a not good idea to be trying to blend in but wear like a very bright color, for example. And then I asked the kids to give different examples of animals that they know in nature that camouflage really well, so they had some really good examples too. And then we had a different experiment. It had to do with ground temperature, and the question was, how is it that animals are able to survive in the desert, and what helps them do that? And so we had 2 different thermometers. We had one that sat outside in the sun. They both, like I showed them, they both started out with the same temperature, and then one sat out in the sun like in the direct sunlight, and we just kind of left it there for like 10 minutes. And the other one, the kids dug a hole and we hid it underground and put a towel over it, and we left it out there the same amount of time. And then we came back and looked at the difference, and you know, the one that was out in the sun was like over 100 degrees, so it was like 105 degrees, and the one that had been underground was still 70 degrees. So then we talked about, oh, why is that important for desert dwelling animals, and how God gave them the wisdom, or the instinct, I guess, to make holes and hide underground, and that's how they're able to survive in that harsh environment, which is very cool. And we talked about how that applies also to animals in other biomes, like frogs. You don't see them out during the day, but if you go out in your porch at dusk, you see them out. It's like, well, where were they all day? So they hide underground or under leaf piles, under bushes and stuff to stay cool. So at the end it says, so next time you go to the beach, make sure you dig a big hole and hide under the sand. They all thought that was funny. For art, we practiced drawing upside down using our oils. I went through a couple of different drawings, just telling them, make a C, and now look at from this point to this point, make a straight line, and then now put a dot, and now here's a curved line, and go from the middle of your page to the edge of your page. And so I was modeling on the whiteboard as they were copying what I was doing, and then they were super excited when we were like trying to figure out like, what is it, because you know it's upside down. And then once we got to the very end and they turned it around, or before turning it around, they finally realized like, oh, this is what it is. We did an elephant and we did a mask, and they really enjoyed that. And the point of that was to practice using the right side of your brain, so that when you're drawing, you actually try to draw what you're seeing and not what you think you're seeing, which is usually what ends up happening when we're doing representational drawings. For review, oh yes, I brought Jenga. I went around the room and asked the kids different review questions and handed out bricks depending on them answering the questions. And then when they didn't know it, like their friends helped them. And then they built, we tried to see as a class all together how high we could make our structure. And then once I ran out of bricks to hand out, then I would ask them questions for a chance for them to go and move the Jenga blocks from the bottom to the top. And we tried to see how far we could get. They got pretty far, I have to say. But next week's review game, I'm gonna make 2 teams and have them go against each other, because I think they seem to like that more, like that competition of like somebody's gonna win and get the bragging rights. So that's pretty much it. That's what we did last week. I hope y'all are having a blessed week, and I'm looking forward to seeing you on Tuesday. Bye.